Good day, everyone. How are you doing today? You're welcome to today's live stream. How's been trading? Today is Tuesday, 11th of November. I was trading yesterday, and how has it been so far? I hope this year has been a great year for you. If you can hear me loud and clear, please drop a comment. Let me know you can hear me, and also confirm you can see my screen. You're welcome to today's live stream. I appreciate you for always showing up for the classes. Appreciate you, and I believe you're getting value from the live streams. If you have any question or any pair you'd want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Confirm you can hear me. Confirm you can hear me. Also help sharing this link with your friends, loved ones that are into Forex trading. Share the link with them so that they also can come join the class and get the same value you're getting from the class. Share it on your groups, share it on your status so that we can grow this community together. Let's grow the community together. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Drop a comment if you can hear me. Let's get started. Let's get started. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Drop a comment if you can hear me. If you have any question or any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Let's start by looking at the calendar. I don't think there is any major news today. Okay, I think GBP, Great Britain relates, is it Clement count? Yeah. Clement count was released today, Tuesday. Yeah, Clement count change, and it was negative for Great Britain pounds. As you can see, the previous was 25.8, the forecast 17.6, and the actual is higher than the forecast. You can see, so it's negative for Great Britain pounds. And if you look at the chart, if you go to the chart, if you look at on GBP USD, you can see, I think it was around this time after the close of this candle that the news, after the close of this candle, this was around, this is 7 to 8, yeah, around this time. That was when the news got released. And you can see after the news got released, you can see GBP USD has been bearish. That's because the news was negative for GBP. For GBP, you can see bearish because the news was negative for Great Britain. And the moment GBP USD is still bearish, my signals, I sent this signal to you guys yesterday, and those of you executed it, you should be in massive profit, close to 50 pips profit. Those are the signals that I sent yesterday. It should be in profit of at least 50 pips. 50 pips, okay? And I'm still expecting it to sell more. This target for this related first target for GBP USD. Okay, this relative equality is my first target for GBP USD. So let's go on to the chart. Let's go to trading. We'll start by looking at dollar index. Like I shared with you guys yesterday, that dollar index is bearish and it's still bearish. I don't think dollar index would rest until it fills this fair value gap. I don't think dollar index will stop selling until it fills this fair value gap. Though we could see some retracement, there could be some retracement. Okay, price action is not a straight line, it's not linear. Okay, so there will always be retracements. Okay, so before price gets to fill this fair value gap, there will definitely be retracement. There will definitely be retracement. Okay, but at the moment it is still bearish. It is still bearish. Since the market opened, yen basket has been bearish, which indicates that the yen is weak. this week. Now on a daily time frame, what can we see on a daily time frame? We can see that price just tested a support level, and you can see the reactions from that level, from that support. You can see there's a little reversal, okay, at the moment at that level. Okay, there's a little reversal at that level. If a bullish reversal pattern forms at this level, maybe on 4-hour time frame, we could see price retrace back. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that price has been in a range. Price has been in a range. We have the high of this range at this point. We have the high of that range at this point, and we have the low of this range at this point. So if price breaks out from this range, we should expect to reversal probably to this fair value gap on yen. Price might reverse to this fair value gap. That is, if it breaks out from this resistance, which is the high of the range, we could see a reversal to this fair value gap. Okay, and if price breaks out from this support, then should expect more sells on yen basket. You should expect more sales on yen basket. You can see it was previous support at this point. So a breakout from that support means yen continue with its bearish move. It means yen will continue with its bearish move. So I'm still very bearish on yen. Still very bearish. Let's go to the dollar index. If you have any question, any pair want me to analyze, let me know in the section. Dollar index. So dollar index, let's start with the daily time frame. Okay, so as you can see, yesterday candle closed as a doji. It closed as a doji, which indicates change in trend from bearish to bullish. Like I shared with you guys yesterday, that I would like to see USD pull back to fill this fair value gap before it continues with its bearish move. That is my expectation on the dollar index, and that bias is valid. Okay, that's my expectation on dollar index. So it's closed now. After the close yesterday, from the and the support that we put on the power time frame. Okay, so what I'm doing for our support that was written after the this was support yesterday have zone as support zone. Okay, so in that that's is it better now? Can you guys hear me clearly now? Is it better now? I hope so. I hope so. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. Can you guys hear me clearly? Okay, so that's my take on the dollar. I'm still very bullish on the dollar. I want to see dollar fill this gap, and on this gap, this is where I'll be considering, looking for sales on the dollar. But right now, I'm still very bullish on the dollar. Still very bullish on the dollar. So you can see on the dollar, we had this resistance. This resistance, I think it was created yesterday also. Yeah, this was the resistance for yesterday market. And you can see that the market is currently trading above that resistance. Okay, if the current 4-hour candle close above that resistance, then we should expect more buys on. You can see the market is trading above this resistance. Okay, so if the current 4-hour candle closes above that resistance area, you can see from this point to this point, you can see that dollar has been in a range. So we have this zone as our resistance zone. Yeah, this is our resistance zone. Okay, so a breakout from this zone will be a strong confirmation for more buys on dollar. You can see DXY has been in a range for several hours, you can see. So a breakout from this zone, will be a strong confirmation to buy. A breakout from this zone or 4-hour candle closes in between this zone. If a 4-hour candle closes, the current 4-hour candle closes in between this zone, is still a good confirmation to buy the dollar. So on dollar, I am bullish. On the yen, I am bearish. Okay, so let's look at currency pairs. Let's start with Euro USD. Okay, so if dollar is bullish, then we should be looking for sales on Euro USD. If dollar is bullish, we should look for sales on Euro USD. So let's start with the daily time frame. So yesterday candle closed looks like a doji or a spinning top. Yeah, as you can see, a doji or a spinning top respected the high of last Friday. You can see. So you can see that this is a downward trend. If you apply your trend line, you can see that the market is respecting previous highs. And if today's candle respects yesterday high, then we should expect, you can see that you should expect more sales on Euro USD, and Euro USD might come to fill this gap it's created here. Okay, that could be its destination, this gap. Okay, so let's go down to 4-hour time frame. Let's identify support and resistance that was created yesterday. Okay, so this is what we have here. So we had, this was the support for yesterday market. This was the support for yesterday market. This was the support for yesterday market, and this was the resistance for yesterday market. Yeah, so that's the support and resistance, and the market is currently trading below the resistance, indicating that we have more sales than buy. It indicates that supply is increasing and demand is decreasing. So if a 4-hour candle closes below this support area, then we should expect more sales on Euro USD. If 4-hour candle closes or breaks out from this support, we should expect more sales on GBP, on Euro USD. So that's my take. Okay, if you want to sell, you could patiently wait for these breakouts. I actually took a trade on Euro USD yesterday, and I think it's in profit now, close to, let's say, 10-15 pips profit. So I'm still holding my sales on my stop loss. Is, I think I've adjusted my stop loss to this high. Yeah, my stop loss is currently at this level. Okay, so I'm hoping that it will drop to this level. That's like 1 to 2 risk reward, if not more. 1 to 2 risk reward. So that's my take on Euro USD. I am very bearish on Euro USD. Let's see GBP USD. I've been holding GBP USD since yesterday. I'm bearish on GBP USD, and like I said earlier, my TP on Euro USD, technically I was bearish, and on today, the news that was released, claimant count change for GBP was also negative. So you would expect more sales on GBP USD. This wouldn't be the right time to sell. This wouldn't be the right time to sell. This is where you should have sold. You should have sold, because we had a spinning top here, we had an hanging man here, and we had a shooting star. So your best entry would have been after the close. This is where you should have entered sell. So if you didn't enter sell from this point, it will not be wise. You have missed this move. GU has done over 50 pips from this point. This is 3174. Yeah, that's over 50. Sell. That is my take for GBP USD. This isn't the right time to sell, though it might drop to this level and come fill fair value gap at this point. Okay, this is not the right time to sell. If you want to sell, patiently wait for a strong retracement. You can see it has created a fair value gap here on a 1 hour time frame. It has created a fair value gap here. So if you insist on selling, you want to join this bearish move, I would advise you wait for a pullback. At least price should do a 50% retracement from this swing high to this swing low. Price should do at least 50% retracement before you consider selling GBP USD. I hope that is clear. That's my take on GBP USD. Let's see gold. I'm also bearish on gold. Wow. Gold is currently buying. Okay. I'm bearish on gold. Let's see. Let's start with the daily time frame. So daily, since the market opened, the buyers have been in control. Buyers have been in control. But if you go down to 4 hour after the close, let's see, 4 hour, the previous 4 hour candle closed as a shooting star. You can see that it closed as a shooting star, which indicates change in trend from bearish to from bullish to bearish. And as you can see here, it's also swept liquidity that was residing at this previous high. It swept the liquidity residing at this previous high. You can see. Okay, so what could be the reason for this pullback? Now, I think probably a fair value gap was created after the formation of this shooting star. Let's see. Let's see 1 hour. Okay, so you can see on gold here, we had this fair value gap it's created here. You can see that could be the reason for the pullback. Okay, that could be the reason for the pullback. And on a 1 hour time frame here, you can see the resistance it's created here. So if price breaks out from this resistance, then we should expect more buys. Okay, we should expect more buys. But if price closes below this fair value gap, if price closes below this fair value gap, okay, then we should expect more sales. So this pullback could be, the purpose of this pullback could be to just fill this fair value gap. Okay, it could just be to fill this fair value gap. So if a candle closes below this fair value gap, then this will be a first breakout from the fair value gap. This will be a first breakout from a fair value gap, and you could look for sales. Wait for a candle to close below this zone before you take a sell. If it breaks out from this resistance, then you expect more buys. I hope that is clear. So that's my take on gold. I'm still very bearish on gold. So if price, a candle, 1 hour or 4 hour candle closes below this zone, I'm going to take more sales on gold. I'm going to take more sales on gold. So I think that will be all for this session. Do you have any question or any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, let me know. Good morning, Mr. Isaiah. Good morning. Any question? Any question? Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let's see GJ. Let's see what GJ is doing. GBP, JPY. Okay. Let's start with the daily. If yen is bearish, then we should expect buys on GJ. Should expect buys on GJ. Last week candle, as you can see, it closed as an hammer. It closed as an hammer, so it's likely GJ will come sweep the liquidity residing, okay, at this previous high. The first target could be this high. Okay, that could be the first target. Okay, so after the formation of this candle last week, probably it created some fair value gaps on a lower time frame that it needs to fill. Okay, so we have this. So this would be a very good area to consider joining the bullish trend on GJ. This would be a very good area to consider joining the bullish trend on GJ. Wait for price to retrace back to this zone, this fair value gap. This would be a very good area to consider buying GJ. Okay, this would be a very good area to consider buying GJ. If you had not bought GJ, if you didn't buy GJ yesterday, wait for price to pull back to this zone before you buy on GJ. That's my take on GJ. That's my take on GJ. Okay, so let's look at USDJPY. Someone has requested USDJPY. Well, has been bullish since yesterday, right? Monday, Tuesday, it's been bullish. It's been bullish. Yesterday candle closed strongly bullish. So right now they've swept liquidity. Liquidity residing at these previous highs has been swept. So I think we might see a retracement on UJ. UJ is likely going to retrace. Okay, let's see. UJ, okay, this is 4-hour time frame. If 4-hour time frame breaks out from this was yesterday resistance, the market traded, you can see this morning there was a breakout from that resistance and a retest. You can see that there was a breakout and a retest. So with this, I think UJ is bullish. You can see that there was a break. This was the break. This was yesterday resistance. Market broke out from that resistance today. The first candle of today closed up on that resistance. And after the breakout, there was a retest. And after the retest, the market is currently trading above that resistance area. That's a strong indication that the buyers are still in control. That's a strong indication that the buyers are still in control. So UJ is bullish at the moment. It is bullish at the moment. UJ is bullish at the moment. At the moment. Probably just want to retrace to fill. Let's see 15 minutes. There's a fair value gap that was created. Okay, so UJ might pull back to fill this fair value gap. So if you want to buy, look for your bullish pattern. Look for your bullish pattern from this zone. Look for your bullish pattern from that zone. I think UJ wants to retrace to fill. Please subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. If you're here to give the video a thumbs up, please do that right now. And if it's your first time joining the live stream, do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know, let me know. Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Okay, let's see Euro Aussie, and that will be the last pair. Let's see Euro Aussie. I've not looked at Euro Aussie for some days now. Since the start of this week, I've not looked at Euro Aussie. So let's start with the day. Let me start with the weekly time frame. Okay. So last week was strongly bullish. It was strongly bullish. Last week was strongly bullish. And I think this week they had to sell, probably to fill a fair value gap. Let's see daily. Okay. So yesterday was strongly bearish. I believe that pullback was to fill a fair value gap. I believe, yeah, you can see that the pullback was to come fill this fair value gap. The retracement was to come fill this fair value gap that was created last week, and that gap has been filled, and the market is currently trading above. You can see that. Let's go down to 1 hour. Probably there's still a fair value gap below. That's the reason for the breakout on okay, so that fair value gap has been filled. I'm sure there's still a fair value gap below this one. That's why price broke out from this fair value gap. Let's just confirm. Let's see. Okay, so we had this low here. Let's see 15 minutes. I think there's a fair value gap below that. That could be the reason for. Okay, so you can see on 15 minutes at this point, we had this fair value gap. That could be the reason for that breakout from, you can see this. That could be the reason for the breakout from the 4 hour, 1 hour. You can see that. Can you see that? Can you see that? That's the reason price broke out from the fair value gap we identified on 4 hour time frame. You can see because there's still a fair value gap on 15 minutes time frame, it's hard to fill. So this would have been a good entry to buy Euro Aussie after the breakout from this fair value gap. After price filled this fair value gap and closed above the fair value gap, this would have been a good entry for Euro Aussie. This would have been a good entry, a good buy from this point. And so far it has done how many pips? About 40 pips from this point, 40 pips from this point. Created a new fair value gap here. We have all this fair value gap. So you might want to wait before you buy, join the bullish trend. You might want to wait for price to come fill this one or two of these fair value gaps here. There's a high probability this liquidity that's created between Asia and London session. New York might want to come and sweep this liquidity. Okay, and after sweeping this liquidity, they might want to use that opportunity to also fill some of this fair value gap. Okay, so that's my take. If you insist on buying from the current market price, your stop loss should be this low. And if you're not comfortable with the risk, if the risk is too high, then you should patiently wait for price to retrace to one of these fair value gaps before you buy Euro Aussie. Is there another pair you want me to analyze? All right, guys. So that'll be all for today's session. I appreciate you all for your participation. If you're yet to give the video a thumbs up, please do. I appreciate you all, Dimas, Amandi, Mr. Isaiah, Mr. Ned. I appreciate you all for your participation. Dimax, that should be Daniel OJ, right? Dimax, that should be Daniel OJ. Am I correct? That should be Daniel OJ. Thank you, guys. I wish you all a profitable trading day. Bye for now.